What's going on, Thrashers? How you doing today? I put out the little teaser. I think like what 5 people have seen it, at least as of the time I'm recording this. Um, Dave Mustaine video is almost at like 90 views, like 80 right now. But the watch time people don't usually like. I think 70% of the people didn't want to go past 4 minutes, I guess. So I don't know. A bunch of people. I mean, they don't have what it takes. They don't have the cojones. You know, they can't really sit through a 30-minute video of someone who's got the right info but just can't give it to you in a neat little package with some subtitles and some calling cards and whatever. I'm a little salty about it, not even gonna lie, but what are you gonna do? You can't make people do anything. But if you were thinking about what tune this is, you see the title probably, but I'm just gonna say it. We're doing a Havok tune again, and this is Intention to Deceive, and I just learned it very recently, and I'm going to go over the riffs as I'm pretty sure they are. I think I got them right, but I know I got some wrong, and I corrected those, and I think, for the sake of transparency, I don't think any other channel does this. I'm going to show you what I thought the riffs were incorrectly for a little while. So, yeah, I guess let's do this. So the opening riff, we're in E flat, by the way, because off any album after Time Is Up is in E flat, so you should probably know that. So the whole idea is we're taking these kind of notes up here in these frets here. This is going to be on 7 and 8, and then 8 and 9. We're going to be bouncing off of these on these two pairs of strings with a low E chugging in between. Now, it starts off like so, the 8 and 9 on the A and the D, prefaced by a low E chug. And I think it might actually stay here and do a bar instead of doing this. It could be, either. Or maybe it does this. Well, I'm just going to do it in full both ways, and you can decide which one you prefer to do, this one or the bar one. That's the way with the diagonals, now with the bar. Very difficult to tell with that half-step difference. I figure it might actually be both diagonals, who knows. But I'm going to go over it right now. I'm going to do it really slow so you can see it and watch my fingers and hopefully be able to do it just by looking. And it's this. The little movement there. And then we go into these low E chugs. And then end to the power chord chug. So you start with just the low E first. And then you start including the second, like halfway through your chugging. Then we get into the main riff. And that's the correct way to do it, I just did, but I'm going to show you the way that I thought it was, which was wrong, if I can remember it. Yeah, so I thought it was this way, where you bar across to there, and then you go back, but you keep these two notes here. That's not the case. It's actually diagonals, and then this power chord type shape, I think. So let's go over this first part of the riff before I get ahead of myself here. So now you're hopping strings to the D and going back, and you're doing these same two things we did at the beginning, but low to high instead of high to low. Okay? And then think that's how it goes. Not both diagonals, but one of these is a bar. I think. Because I don't know why, it just doesn't sound correct to do that movement. I may have weird ears and it may be wrong. You can do either or, honestly. I mean, in a live setting, who's exactly going to notice? I think it's more along the lines of this, though. It just sounds a little bit more consistent and fluid to me. So I'm going to do it top to bottom. Here we go. And then they switch over, and all you're doing is the exact same frets, just switching over now to the A, D, and G string. See? Right? And then you wait for a second, and then come back on the, instead of putting a mute chug in there. So like... See, I waited for a second, and then came back in on these, not doing a chug beforehand. All right, and now the other riff. Not bad. Open E, then A and D string, power chord here, tritone, you know. And then you're changing your galloping, going from the open to the 3. And you do this twice. And then you go back into this. And now the first solo. I forget actually what riff is going on behind the solo. I'm going to check that really quick. I'll be right back. I got to make sure that it's not anything different. Solo, he is just doing the... We're going to go over the solo, and I think I have it correct. So you're going to be E minor, pentatonic, and you have these notes here. Follow that. I'm going to do it again slowly. These are the notes you're going to be working with when I show you the pattern. You know, you're basically combining the kind of Dave Mustaine idea of having all the in-between with these bits here. And then the Gary Holt thing I talked about in like another video on the Exodus tune. And the actual minor one. So you start with this bend here. And then you do this pattern. It's that type of idea where you go... Okay, I'm going to do that like ultra slow so you can follow it, and it just goes the same way down the scale mostly. So it goes up it, down it, and then we're doing like descending 3s basically. And then we're going to this note here on 11. Got that? Something around those lines. Right? Pretty badass lick. You can pick it as much or as little as you want. Just figure out some sort of way to pick it. Something around those lines, okay? Use the playback speed to like slow the video down to 0.75 or whatever. It's not that hard of a lick. It's not that bad. You should be okay. Now this other bit. So this is kind of like a Randy Rhoads type thing, where Randy Rhoads would do like... something like that. We're doing it with this as our home note here, our E, right? We have like everything we need here for this type of idea. Yeah, so we got this kind of dark, evil sound. That's what we're going for with these. So you're going to want to keep your fingers in this type of position and just move this around. And that's the pattern every time. Middle, pointer, middle on these frets. Watch. Ah, sorry. Starting bit's pretty easy. But then you gotta move up to there, I think. Yep. So you're traveling across the strings. A string, D string, G string, and you're staying here on the G string for this, and then you're going over to the B. Then you're bending this note up to this pitch. Got it? And I like to do the Marty Friedman kind of bends, but he's probably just doing, I don't know, like a regular bend with a bit of vibrato or something similar. Now the next lick, that one, this is what you saw in the teaser. You're just doing this shape up here 3 times. Right? And then bending up on fret 17, I think. Up 17 to the pitch at 19. Okay? I'm not going to do that from the top. I did it in the other video, but link these parts together and you got this first little Reece solo. All right. Now back to it. I think they just do more of the main riff for the verse. And then the... Right? Then they do the... But then they change it and they stop it and they do this. And then the... Okay? So I'm going to show you that. So you got an A string power chord on 5. And the rest of these are muted in this weird pattern. On the A string... So, 2, 1, E string 3, E string 1, E string open. Right? And then, I think David does, and Reece does. If you want that effect, you should probably do, I guess, these hollow ideas where you just play the octaves and you mute the middle note. Or maybe even play the lower note with it. Like we have, it actually might be that. Reece might be doing these, what do you call it? Like, these 2 notes. And David might be doing these, like, extended power chords where you have a note below. Sometimes they do that. In fact, maybe in the other tune that I talked about, they did that somewhere and I didn't exactly notice. They have a very, like, kind of punchy, weird tone. It's difficult to discern, stuff like that. Well, then we go into the fast bit, which is like that. So that thing. So it's going to be da, digga, digga, digga. I think, like... 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 2 1 2. So it's almost like you're doing like 16 chugs of that, I think. Let me think it through. And then no, it's ba ba da 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 da. There it is. And then ba da 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 after that. And then these 2 notes here. And then this. So it's going to be 2, 5, open 3. And then open 3, 2. I'm going to do that from the top. And then these notes you were hitting here, but now it's power chords. Moved up. So from the top, from this part, I'm going to do it. And then that's it a little bit slower, so it's easier for you to follow. And you just got to speed that up. Again, I'm still not perfect at it. I only just started learning it like a day or two ago, on and off. So then we have this was just hollow octaves. And I think they might actually have it where it's like a harmony where they're both in different parts and they're kind of coming together. I'm going to use my looper pedal for this. Actually, it may not be there. It may be even lower. So one of them's doing that, and the other one's doing the opposite. It's either that, or it is this, like, 3... Well, maybe I'll check both right now, just to be sure. Okay, so it's from here to here. Yeah, there's no way. Well, it's something strange then, but I'm pretty sure you can just get away with or something of that nature while the other one's doing the other stuff behind it. Then what else is there to say? I don't think there's anything else. I think there's just the other solo that Reece does, which is really difficult. And again, this little mess up here with these things, you know, I don't know. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. That's kind of the closest I'm going to get, at least with the amount of effort I'm putting in. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just doing this for fun. This is the best you got until you can use your ears, and I guess, or pay me. I don't know. Something. But, so yeah, doing that. And then the solo happens over this riff we did earlier, that thing. And it's really difficult, and even I can't really get it up to speed properly because it's just so weird. So you're thinking about this pentatonic box here in the key of A. You start off with this radical bend here on the B string on this note. And it's this legato pattern that he does where I'm going to give you all the notes you're working with. So that's the beginning bit. It's so weird. So you're going this 3-note per string kind of idea, and then you're ascending up here. But a little. I think that's it. That's it really slow. So that's the first little bit. And then you go back up it again, but then you go up here. Like the Dave Mustaine kind of thing. But just going down it. I think it's that. And then you do the same notes here. Same kind of pattern. And then this idea. So you bend this note, hammer on here, and do that. Okay? And then lastly, after that, doing that like 3 times, I think. So you're doing bends here. on the D and the A string. So kind of from the top from that bit, like it's going to be... Ah, no, sorry. It's really, it's a bastard. It's not an easy solo at all. Not easy. And then we're moving up to this phrase. Not a hard one. You're just doing pedaling off the B string on notes on the E string. I'm going to show you here. Right? This is fret 10. And I'm going up to the A string every time. Okay? And I think you move up to here on the 12. And you do this pattern here. Okay. Got it? Ah. It's very weird. Now here's we get to the real BS. In the other Havok tune where I showed you the minor sweep shape and I told you to do it real slow, we're playing basically from the pinky, that starting here. So you slide into it, and that's the shape you play. I'm going to do it very slow. One note per string. And then unit of 12. So it's very weird, and I kind of like don't even hit all the notes in the middle. Okay. Then once you're here, you're going to be doing tapping here. So starting up at this note way up here. I think, pretty sure that's 17. And now you're going to follow the shape down, tapping these notes. And it's kind of like a triplet, like a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, right? So that's the start. Hammer from nowhere. And then tap here. And then come back. Got that much so far? And then there on 14. And then 14 again. Like so. And you do it really quick. So just gonna do the start fast and try to get this up to speed. So it sounds like a diddle diddle diddle. And then maybe do the other half, or maybe as much of it as you can quickly. So just practice it in chunks, I guess, is what I would say. I'm going to do it one more time pretty slow, if I can. Again, I just learned this just now. I don't really do this technique too much. Nope. And I got to go up for that one, all right. And I got to go down for that one. See, it's a weird shape. I think maybe the best thing to do would be to lay it out like so. These are your notes at the bottom, right? They're in this shape. And then you got to think like... this other sweep shape up here. You got to probably think more like that. Yeah, that definitely helps. So you just envision the two inversions at once. Right? And this shape, I guess I'll give it this one to you for free. there's a bar here. There's like a little roll you have to do. Okay? And you're just tapping down one while moving down the other. That's a way better way of explaining it. This is taking way too much time on this one lick. Sorry. Now, after you've done that, you're going to go up to imagining the pentatonic on G. Well, actually, no, F sharp, sorry. Because E, F, F sharp, and then G. So F sharp pentatonic. Right? And you're going to do a bend here. Same place we always do bends in the pentatonic, really. That note. And now you're in for a lot of crazy tapping here. And it's kind of similar to that one tapping lick I showed off where you have to go like... It's good to know your two parts of this scale, which I guess I'll give you here. You're starting in the middle of it. And you're doing this kind of idea here. Where it's... Right? So you have these notes and you're doing... one singular tap down, move over, do it again. There. Okay. And then you're doing a double here. And then going back down. And then you're going across these two. And then going backwards. Okay? Yeah? And that kind of idea. Right? Yeah? Got it? Okay. And then lastly, to close it off, imagine like a big sweep shape up here. And we're doing a quick little bendy, smooth phrase to get out of it after this. So I'm going to do it one more time from here. And then now here, right? So I can't really tell if he's bending this note here up a whole step, or he's bending this one up a half step. And there's a harmony going on there, which I don't exactly know. Man, that's a lot. This is already a 20-minute video, and I'm just now done with the solo. Took too long. I'm sorry for that bit with the tapping bit. It's just very difficult to figure that out because there's two ways to look at it. You have your whole like wide thing here, and you could choose to look at it as every other note you're tapping, aside from this one, of course. You're just relocating the previous note. Like if you wanted to do that lick without tapping, you could do it doing down, pull off, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, string skipping every other time. Instead of doing the, right? You could do, probably start with a tap and then do the pick. So you could think about it as just relocating every previous note to the next coming string this way, or as a combo of these two shapes. So forgive me for being confused about which way to figure it out there. All right, lastly we have this idea, which is there's the David Sanchez solo, which requires a bar for some of the phrasing, and yeah, no thank you. So I can't really put strings on the guitar that has that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to cover that solo this time, but maybe at a later time if enough people are annoyed about it. I am going to cover what's happening behind it in Reece's part, which I would argue is a little more difficult and interesting. So here we go. It starts off after a solo with a low E power chord, and then you pluck top three notes. And what Reece did actually when I saw him live is he did the... And he just lets his hand go and goes like he's like a magician with like that thing where you flick the little flint and steel thing in there and it like puffs up a bunch of smoke with his hand after he does that solo. It's so cool. He does. Something of that nature, I think. No, I think it's I'm gonna do it really slow because I think I'm adding one extra note in there when I shouldn't be. And that's really weird. That's kind of a finger twister. I think he does it up here, but I found it here. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I went down here on accident. Sorry, one more time from the top. Really weird. That string skip there, not a string skip, but you move across strings when you don't think you should. Because the way I'm seeing it, I'm kind of seeing it like, how would I explain this? Kind of like, this is your minor here, you're on E. And you have this kind of like, what do you call it? What do you call it? Like gypsy minor. Including the, fourth, I guess. So you'd have both fours or whatever. Anyways, so that's happening behind David's solo. And I think there's one more riff after the fact that I gotta really dig in my brain to remember. I'm just gonna double check real quick before I come back. Right, so the backing riff is this. I think it might be that first. You're basically just doing, and then any other of these variations of any sort. So it could be open to 1 and then, or 1 to 2, or then to 2 to 1. I'm pretty sure that's the second to last one, and then that's the very last one. It's difficult, it's weird, and I kind of don't feel like wasting the time on it, because it's probably the easiest part of the song to learn by ear. So if I'm going to force anybody to do anything, I think it's probably you should learn that part by yourself. Just sit there for a few minutes. Try to discern the difference between the open, the A, you know. Well, we're in E flat tuning, so these aren't exactly the most accurate note names, but you know what I'm saying. The open, the 1, the 2, and the 3. Right? Okay. And then there's the part that David is doing on top of that, which I think is like... I think it's this. I'm going to do that really slow. I think there might be another note in there, so maybe it's like... Something of that nature, something spooky sounding that ends here. I might actually start. It could be that, I think. Not sure. And then there's the Reece Scruggs shred run that he does in between one of those, which is this. I'm going to do that slowly for you. So, it might be like a skip, or where you don't play this fret here. Sorry. Right? Same shape, this like whole step thing. Same frets here, and then moving back one. Then you're in this minor shape here. I think he does some kind of pinch harmonic at the end there. You can figure that one out. That one's not too bad. And then they do a harmony with this thing, which I have no idea what it is. It's very confusing and weird. And then there's the that type of thing, which is reminiscent of that part we did earlier, you know, in Reese's first solo, but they have it harmonized. It's not too difficult to figure out. Again, I think that's another one where I think I can take a break, and that one won't be too difficult to figure out. I'm pretty sure they have it isolated left-right headphones, so if you got headphones or earbuds or whatever the hell, just take one of them out and then listen to that and figure that out. It's not too hard. It's the same thing. Same shape here with this half-step thing. Just figure out where they're doing it. One of them might actually be doing that, and the other one might just be doing it octave up or something. So, yeah, figure that out. And then they have the, they go back to the same thing again. Back to all the main riffs. And I don't think they do anything else after that. I think it's just repetition of the same other things. And again, this video is probably way far past the amount of time you're willing to put into it to learn a song. So, yeah, best of luck to you. This song was really difficult to learn and figure out. And it's probably going to be 10 times more difficult to, like, play, actually. Like, for me personally. So that should really tell you the difficulty of this one. But, good luck. Have fun. I forget what I usually say at the end of these. I'm just very tired. I had a sleepless night. So that's another thing. Get good sleep if you're gonna play thrash music. Unless you're gonna become like a someone who actually plays shows, then you're probably gonna want to do the opposite. Don't sleep at night and sleep during the day, like a raccoon or something. All right, cool. Later.